Hi. Hi. Art. Hi.
Sir, on behalf of the President of the United States Air Force, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service to our country.
I want to first of all extend my gratitude to all family and friends who have come today to honor my dad, Anthony Dean Leocadio, on behalf of myself, my sister, brothers, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Thank you. We are extremely grateful for your support that has helped carry us through this difficult time. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michelle, missing for family members, and I'm the eldest daughter. It is never an easy task to capture someone's life in a speech, as words frequently fall short of capturing someone's true essence. This is a wonderful day to celebrate and reflect on my dad's life. His accomplishments during his 22 years in the Air Force, retiring as a Master Sergeant, and then working for the Navy for another 10 years is an example of how hard of a worker he was. A great work ethic. He is truly something to be proud of. From the time I was a kid, he was the importance of being a hard worker, having a good work ethic, but also to not give up. He would enroll us in many classes from ballet, gymnastics, roller skating, etc. I had failed beginning swimmer twice, and even though I failed twice, his solution was to enroll me into, the three of us, to a swim team. So once we joined the base swim team, it was hard. I mean, I couldn't even know how to swim. And yes, he continued to keep taking us to the swim practices and the swim meets. But the longer we stayed, we were able to get into the best swimming group, getting ribbons and trophies. Growing up, we were expected to help with the dishes, laundry, and cleaning. He had a big, huge mountain of dirt delivered one time, and he would wake us up every Saturday morning to wheelbarrow dirt into the backyard. I'm sure as kids we complained, but what it taught us was to never be afraid to try new things. Hard work pays off, and sometimes you have to do things you may not want to do. Even though we may not always have felt that my dad supported us, it was our perspective. In reality, he's always supported us. When he found out that Mickey's dad wasn't getting child support, he wrote letters to the California senators and contacted the base commander, Mr. Cruz. But lastly, my dad had a lot of empathy and love, not only for his friends and family, but strangers as well. He was always donating to different causes. Whenever he watched those Feed the Children, he would always express how much he wished that he could help more people. If he knew we were coming over, he would always want to cook something for us. During his last months, he expressed how much he missed his sister Press, and he found comfort knowing that he would be able to see his brothers and sisters in heaven.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming as well. On behalf of the family, we appreciate the love and support that you and many people have shown towards us and our family. Growing up, We grew up in Hawaii, and you know, as my sister mentioned, mounds of dirt. Yeah, he had us shoveling dirt, planting things, and we hated it. I was in elementary school, so what kid likes that kind of manual labor? But what we were doing was we were building something beautiful. The house in Hawaii, what we ended up building was our own sidewalk. Who builds a sidewalk? Well, we built a cement walkway, you know, around the house, and we built a patio area, and we built a multi-level terrace that had flowers that we had stole from the base. Well, I mean, but all of those times of dreading having to do yard work really was for something that was amazing, something beautiful. The thing that my dad taught me was hard work. It's something that followed me as I've grown up in a lot of different areas. Sure, there's always the complaining, but there's still the hard work. At the end of the day, you sweat. At the end of the day, you roll up your sleeves and still do it, because at the end of the day, it's worth it. And that's what my dad taught me. For all of the times that we had our off-again times, where we had our disagreements or we had our just uncomfortable moments, what I realized is in this last year, it really didn't matter. All of the times that I felt I wasn't supported all through childhood, all of the times that I felt like he wasn't there, I realize now, after going through photos, that he actually was there. Like, how does an 83-year-old man Photoshop himself into photos of my history when I was in high school? It's like, I saw photos of him there at my graduation, and I saw photos of him there when at my 6th grade graduation, and I saw photos of him in my room. For those of you who knew me in high school, I had all 4 walls of my bedroom and the ceiling was just a big collage of photos and things of all my different interests. And you know, this was in Long Beach because my parents had already divorced, so he was in Hawaii. My memories was of him never being around, and I saw a photo of him in my room. And I had forgotten that. And I just, in reflecting over the past few weeks, I've realized that all of the times that I feel like I was hurt, that kind of shaped my memories. And the reality was that he was supportive, he was there in his own way, in the ways that he could, in the ways that he had the capacity for. So it's humbling. During his final months in the hospital, the 4 of us took turns visiting him in the hospital to make sure that every day someone was there with him, to make sure that he wasn't, to make sure that even though he might have been scared to be in a hospital room, to be on a ventilator, to be really going through this incredibly difficult experience, that we were still there. I'm grateful for the ways that he has been there for me. In 2001, I had one of the most difficult experiences in my life. I hit rock bottom. I made the biggest mistake of my life. And when I told him, he didn't judge me, he supported me. When I came out to my family, he didn't judge me, he supported me. And in fact, when I was on the phone with him, talking to him about all these difficult things that I was going through, he was miles away in Hawaii. He wasn't only offering comfort in words, but he was offering support. Okay, how can we move on? What can I do to support you? He's the reason why I was able to go back to school and get my undergrad. Because during the most difficult time of my life, he was already thinking about helping me to move on. So, as I think about all of the different times that gosh, I wonder, was I a good enough son? You know, because we had our moments. I wasn't a good son. My brother was the good son. He was the one that was consistently there for him. But was I a good enough son? And what I realized was I was his son. And it didn't matter. And all of the disagreements that we might have had, believe me, he would be ecstatic knowing that he got a certificate signed by the He would be ecstatic. For all of the disagreements that we had, it actually didn't matter. Because we were family. He was my dad. I was his son. Good or bad, family is family. And we're thankful for having had the opportunity to be there for him during these really difficult times in his life when he really needed us most. So, family and friends, thank you so much for being here for him and also being here for us. And I also encourage you to be for each other. Despite the mistakes and despite the disagreements, despite the hurt, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because we have our family and we have our chosen family. We have our family by blood and we have our chosen family, our friends. So let's support one another. So thank you.